Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Leadoff Conversations, the spin-off of our very famous Kickoff Conversations. We're very happy to be doing baseball this time around. It's been a little bit since we've been on here, so, you ready, Jaden?
I'm absolutely ready.
Let's-
Very excited about this MLB season. Yeah, I'm ready
sure.
to dive right into it.
Let's do it. So today we'll be going over the opening day weekend and the series that is currently underway across all of Major League Baseball. So let's get started with the first series. The first game of the MLB season was the Milwaukee Brewers facing the New York Yankees.
Yeah, so this series, the Yankees would go ahead and they would take a 3-0 sweep. Obviously, they were kind of making news all around MLB with the introduction of the torpedo bat. Yeah, they were just hitting bombs all weekend. Never really a close game.
Yeah, no.
In that series, even though the Brewers put up 9 runs in a game, the Yankees countered that with 20.
Exactly.
Aaron Judge is already in mid-season form. He leads the MLB with 4 home runs, I believe.
Yep.
Had a hat trick, including a grand slam in Game 2 of that series. And yeah, just the Yankees looking super dominant in that series.
Yeah, and I mean, Brewers pitching, they were supposed to be an okay staff this year. Nestor Cortez gave up back-to-back in his first start back in New York.
Yeah.
Just not a good look for the Brewers to start. And the Yankees, I didn't have them doing that well this year, but they're off to a really, really hot start, which is scaring me a little bit.
Yeah, honestly, seeing, Garrett Cole go down and Giancarlo Stanton having injuries with both of his elbows there, I was kind of thinking, honestly, they were going to lose a step. Maybe not as much power. Obviously, you're losing a big power bat in Stanton. I thought the rotation was going to struggle a lot, which it wasn't pretty, but, I mean, they got it done. But yeah, the Yankees lineup is just looking super duper scary. Jazz Chisholm looks really good. Paul Goldschmidt slotted into the leadoff spot there. He looks pretty good in the leadoff spot. Cody Bellinger looks great in Yankee Stadium. Ben Rice even looks pretty good in the opening series. So yeah, definitely surprising there. Brewers looked a lot worse than people would assume. Obviously, they lost some people in the offseason, but the Yankees just shocking.
Yeah. Next up, the Orioles and the Blue Jays, who split their 4-game series 2-2. The Orioles came out swinging on opening day, beating the Jays 12-2. But the Jays came back, won 8-2. We were there that game. That was a great game.
Yep.
The Orioles took Game 3 and the Blue Jays took Game 4. Andres Jimenez, the Blue Jays offseason acquisition, came out swinging, hit 3 home runs in the series. He's the first Blue Jay, he hit 2 home runs in the series. But he's the first Blue Jay to hit 3 home runs in his first 5 games on the team.
Yeah, when that trade went down, I believe everybody was a bit upset to see Horwitz go because the Jays have been on kind of a streak of, seeing players, like young players, just have really, really good rookie campaigns or, second-year campaigns or whatever it may be, and just trading them away, right, for veterans. We did it with Gabriel Moreno, trading him away for Dalton Varsho there. Obviously, Teoscar Hernandez, he was seasoned, but we traded him away for Eric Swanson. Just changing things up when you kind of feel like they're finally getting into the groove of things. But this one, I think it's already paying off amazingly. He's won us some games there with his defense. He just honestly looks like the second baseman that we've been missing for quite some time now.
Yeah, for sure. And he's obviously not just going to give you the bat. He's a multiple Gold Glove winning second baseman. So he's going to give you everything, it looks like. And hitting out of the 4th spot right ahead of Kirk, I think it's a perfect fit for him.
I absolutely agree because Kirk loves to push that ball.
Yeah.
He loves to just hit singles, honestly.
Yeah.
He's a single and doubles hitter. He's not really going to hit for power much. Having a guy like Jimenez in front of him who can hit a single, steal second, and then get driven in. Because
That's exactly what we saw last night.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. He has relatively well speed on the base pass. He's very aggressive, he said last night in his presser after the game. The top 3 from the Jays looked pretty productive over the weekend. Anthony Santander, a little bit underwhelming in the opening series, but that's obviously, there's growing pains, right?
Yeah.
It's to be expected. But Bo Bichette looked amazing. Vlad looked pretty good, drawing walks, hitting the ball relatively well, even though it was outs, but he was hitting it relatively well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I liked Vlad's and Bichette's at-bats all weekend for sure.
Me as well.
Next up, we've got the Texas Rangers taking 3 out of 4 against the Boston Red Sox. I don't know, man. Rafael Devers transitioning to DH and then having, 15 strikeouts? Or 0 for 15 in the series. It was something like that. Just not a good look for him.
No, not at all. And Texas's pitching in this series did look super dominant to me. Jacob deGrom made his return. He looked great. But, yeah, honestly, the big story to me here is the Red Sox, who were looked at as, the kings of the AL East after all the Yankees injuries happened. They were looked at as the guys who were supposed to come in and now be first place or be second place, just up there battling with the Yankees. Even the Orioles were kind of slept on in that manner. But, yeah, a disappointing series to go in and lose to a team like that who struggled last year. Obviously, the Rangers are an amazing team. They have, in my opinion, the best lineup in the MLB. But, yeah, honestly, Alex Bregman looked a bit underwhelming as well to me. If the Red Sox, obviously it's a 162-game season, but if the Red Sox want to do any kind of damage, they need Devers, they need Bregman, they need the bullpen, they need the starting pitching to all step up hugely.
Absolutely. I mean, you talk about that Rangers offense. They didn't put up more than 4 runs in any game, so Boston really just, their offense couldn't step it up. I think their pitching kind of did their job.
Absolutely.
The Rangers lost the first game and then came back in the last 3 and won all 3.
Yep. The next series we had was the Philadelphia Phillies heading into Washington and taking 2 out of 3. Bryce Harper heading back home. Obviously, this is kind of how people expected it to go. Maybe even expected a sweep.
Sweep, yeah.
But unfortunately, Aaron Nola sold the third game.
He sold.
Phillies looking good. It's what the Phillies do. Everybody was hitting. Bryson Stott had a home run. Kyle Schwarber had a pair, I believe. Nick Castellanos even hit one. Honestly, not surprised by this Phillies lineup. One of my top 5 in MLB. Expecting a lot more damage from them down the stretch. Obviously, they kind of start getting going really after the All-Star break is what we've seen. And then they slow down a bit towards the end.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they're poised for the postseason. I think this year they could make a pretty good postseason run. Washington Nationals didn't look terrible. Kyber Ruiz looked really well. James Wood and C.J. Abrams, I think they're poised for breakout years, but I think they're still a year or 2 away from truly being a threat in the NL East.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we saw James Wood last night hit a bomb. Who was the other one that hit a homer?
C.J. Abrams.
C.J. Abrams, he hit a homer last night as well. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch any games in this series, so I didn't really see what happened. But Phillies. I mean, they're not the leaders for the NL East projection wise. I would assume it would be the Mets. But I mean, you never know with Philly, man. Harper. Turner, those guys. Turner was out for a few of those games.
Yeah,
I have him in fantasy. I saw that. That was disappointing a little bit. But yeah, I mean, Phillies take 2 out of 3.
Yep.
Next up, we've got the Cleveland Guardians taking 2 out of 3 from Kansas City. And I mean, at the start of the year, I'm not gonna lie, I was saying that Kansas City is not gonna have the same year as they did last year. Bobby Witt Jr., obviously a great player. They've got a young team, but I just don't think they're going to put up the same production that they did last year.
Right, and this series kind of showed that a little bit. Obviously, Cleveland, a great ball club, but a lot of people expected them to kind of take a step back in this division, and they expected it to kind of be the Tigers or the Royals or even the Twins, which I just find laughable. But yeah, I think the Guardians are still the team to beat in this division.
Absolutely.
Honestly, even after seeing the Tigers put up fights in those games with the Dodgers. We'll get to that in a little bit. But I still see the Guardians as a team to beat in this division. Jose Ramirez is undeniable.
Oh, yeah.
Carlos Santana, obviously, he just ages like fine wine. Joaquinski Noel, he looked great. And their starting rotation was a little bit injured there. And they still, took 2 out of 3 from a playoff team last year. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Next up, we've got the Houston Astros taking 2 out of 3 from the New York Mets. And in that first game that the Astros won, Juan Soto ended up going down swinging, looking like a fool to Josh Hader. And that took the internet by storm. Yankees fans were going crazy. They were loving it after Soto ended up leaving them in the offseason. But Houston ended up winning 2 out of 3. Gordon ended up having a good game, I think, in one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, that first game of the season when Soto went down swinging, that was Josh Hader's 200th career save, I believe. I've been a public hater. I don't think he's still got it, but obviously 200 career saves is a huge achievement for any player to get, and I think, judging Juan Soto's Mets tenure after 3 games is just classic Yankees fan behavior. I don't expect anything less from Yankees fans. If you're a Yankees fan watching this, don't come after me. I'm a Jays fan. I hate you for a reason, all right? But and don't start with this rent-free nonsense. They always talk rent-free, blah 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 blah. But yeah, no, yeah, Yankees fans. Cole Parter. That's all I really have to say about the series. Unfortunately, I have to make it about the Yankees. But Lindor didn't look very good.
No,
but I think that'll step up. Mets rotation didn't look terrible, but yeah, Houston topped them.
Yep. Next up, we've got the Tampa Bay Rays taking 2 out of 3 against the Colorado Rockies in the Yankees minor league stadium, or spring training stadium. Cameron Misner hit his first career hit. It was a walk-off home run in Game 1 of the season. I mean, what a moment. What a moment for that guy.
Being able to, be able to tell your kids for the rest of your life your first ever MLB hit was a walk-off home run.
That's pretty cool.
It's really cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, honestly, Tampa 2 out of 3 against Colorado is underwhelming, in my opinion. That's a series you should sweep.
Yeah.
But, like I said, early in the season, anything can really happen. You can't really judge off the first 3 games of the year who's going to be who's going to do what. But I don't see the Rays as a playoff team.
No, me neither.
The AL East is just a big cluster F, and just anything can happen. Anyone can place first, anyone can place last. So
yeah, and I mean, for Tampa, if they do want a shot at the postseason, they've got to sweep these types of series against the Rockies, against the White Sox, against the Angels. Those are series you got to sweep. You can't afford losing those games because you're going to lose more games to Toronto, Baltimore, Boston, New York, those teams that you play 15 plus times a year. Tampa, I don't see you as a playoff team. But then again, they surprise everyone every year because they never spend any money, and they just make it somehow.
Yeah, they're always, them and Cleveland are like the two teams where it's like they go out in the offseason and they get rid of players and then they get better, which I never know.
I don't get it.
I don't know how it works.
I wish they could do that.
I wish, but unfortunately we're going to have to go spend probably $700 million on this man right here.
Yeah,
just to
2-7.
Just to have something to smile about sometimes. But, Tampa takes that one. Next up, we got San Francisco taking 2 out of 3 from Cincinnati in Cincinnati. This series was a bit of a snooze fest to me. I don't really care about either of these teams. I don't think either of these teams are postseason teams. But San Francisco encouraging to take 2 out of 3, kind of, not fall down in the standings early. They're always a team that's known to kind of fight, and they're either elite or they're really mid.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of see where it goes this year. Willy Adames obviously is a great signing. But
yeah, I really like that Adames signing. The shortstop, third base of Adames and Chapman will be really good for them this year. Chapman hit a homer this series in the last game. I don't know. Giants could be okay. They signed Verlander. Don't know how he's going to pan out, but I guess only time will tell.
Yep.
Next up, we have got the San Diego Padres sweeping the Atlanta Braves in a 4-game series. The Padres just look dominant all series. I mean, Tatis, Machado, Merrill at the top of the order. They just all looked really good all series.
This was honestly the most shocking series to me. Coming into this year, everybody was looking at the Padres kind of as a team to sleep on, honestly. Looking at them as a team that lost more than they gained.
Yep.
Didn't get as good as the teams in their division. Like, the Giants went out and spent money. The Dodgers obviously went out and spent money. But yeah, the Padres didn't even move.
Even the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, even the Diamondbacks, you're right. But Padres didn't lift a finger.
Nope.
They kind of just stayed put. They said, we like what we got. And for a reason there, 4-0 sweep on a team that won the World Series 3-4 years ago is really impressive. Obviously, without Acuna, without Strider pitching, but I believe without Sean Murphy as well.
Yes.
But still, it's an impressive series sweep. You want to get going, right? If you start a season, 10-0, 15-0, like the Rays did a few years back, you kind of lock yourself in a good spot. You're not going to go lose 10 in a row, right?
Exactly. And because of all the Padres not doing anything in the offseason, there were rumors about Dylan Cease getting traded, Fernando Tatis Jr. getting traded at the trade deadline.
Yep.
I don't think that's going to happen now. I mean, obviously you can't judge it off the opening weekend, but they did look really good, and I think that they will continue to look really good.
Yeah, honestly, I think this might be the year that we could see a Fernando Tatis true MVP run. If he stays fully healthy, if he stays out of trouble, even though I think the steroid stuff was a bit iffy. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't think he was doing anything wrong. I think he was just misprescribed.
Mhm.
But, obviously he's a great ball player with or without PEDs, whatever he was doing.
Yep.
But, I think this is the year that he has his true full breakout for the first time since 2020. I'm excited to watch the Padres team go.
Yeah, and speaking of PEDs, someone who was playing in the series, Jurickson Profar, got suspended for 80 games for PED use.
Yeah, his was HCG. I don't know exactly what that is, but I read it was something to boost your hormones, of course, but it's mostly used in pregnancies, which I found pretty strange, so I think that could have been a misprescription as well.
Yeah.
But all these athletes say it's a misprescription, so you never really know, what it is. Obviously, they're not going to come out and say, yeah, I was popping. I was taking needles to hit bombs. But he wasn't hitting that well to start the season anyways, Jurickson Profar. But yeah, the Braves take another huge blow there.
Yeah, losing another big-time bat.
Yeah, and
And a guy that they just signed.
Yeah, they just signed him, and as we're recording this, they just DFA'd Jesse Chavez, who they just called up like a day or two ago.
Yeah.
They DFA'd him to make room for Zach Thompson.
Yes.
So yeah, don't know what's going on in Braves land right now. Alex Anthopoulos, you're always
He's going to cook.
You're welcome back home.
Yeah.
I'll say that. You're welcome. You can come back. I don't have a problem with that. But yeah.
And next up, the Angels took 2 out of 3 from the White Sox.
Awesome.
Cool.
Tim Anderson, Yohan Moncada returned home.
Yep.
That was probably the highlight to me. Mike Trout didn't look very
Mike
good.
Trout didn't do anything.
No. But Benintendi looked good. So that's cool. That's cool.
Tenders.
Always cool. But other than that, who cares?
Yeah. Let's move on.
Yep.
To the Marlins taking 3 out of 4 from the Pirates. And the Marlins had 3 walk-offs to start the season. The first time that has happened since, I believe, 1986. Something like that.
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wasn't there.
Me neither. So the Marlins, the Pirates actually led in all of these games at some point, and the Marlins ended up just coming back and then walking it off. Pirates bullpen could not get it done. Skeens had I think, good opening day.
Yeah, I believe it was.
I didn't really watch much of the National League action because I didn't need to. It doesn't really affect the Jays at the moment. But, I mean, the Pirates and Marlins, I don't think anyone's really calling them playoff teams right now. Just kind of 2 mediocre franchises going at it for 4 games.
I think that coming into the year, a lot of people are confident in the Pirates just because of, the names that they have. Like, you got Andrew McCutchen, you got Paul Skeens, you've got Brian Reynolds, you've got O'Neal Cruz. Like, those are some nice names. Those are some players you think can probably win you a few games. But unfortunately, when you have David Bednar closing games in the Big 25, you are not going to win games. No. So I don't understand why the Pirates continue to do this. He's blown it up for them the last 2 years. He just continues to blow saves. And I'm starting to think that this is what Paul Skeens' career is going to look like. It's going to be a Jacob deGrom. He's literally going to be the greatest pitcher in the MLB for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, and he's just going to get shafted.
500 pitcher. 500 record-wise.
Yeah, he's just going to get shafted. Because he's going to have a 1.7 ERA, but his lineup's not going to give him run support. The bullpen's not going to do him any favors, and he's going to get pulled after 5 innings because they're scared he's going to get hurt. It doesn't make any sense to me why the Pirates continue to just stay put and just make fake moves and fake acquisitions. Just go all in. Just do it. Just make the push. You have generational talent. Capitalize.
Yep.
I know I'm saying this in Paul Skeens' first full year he's coming into, but it's better now to make these moves than to wait so long and just get nothing.
Yep.
Like, I know. We know.
Yep.
You can't just wait around. You have to go immediately. When he's young and he's in his prime and he's not hurt, just go. Just do it. But they won't because they're the Pirates. So, ranting for nothing.
Good rant. Yeah, that was a good rant, though. Good rant. Good. Give it up for Jaden. Good rant. And now to a series that I don't think anybody watched, but the Cardinals ended up sweeping the Minnesota Twins in 3 games. I saw nothing about this series. I don't know how Pablo Lopez did. I don't know how Nolan Arenado did.
I know Arenado hit a home run.
Okay,
That's all
fair enough. Arenado hit a homer. Let's go.
Yeah, good for these guys.
Oh, Eric Fetty got a win.
Yes, I remember that. He fucked me over.
Yeah. I just know that because I have him in fantasy.
Yeah, Cardinals looking scary. Twins looking not scary as I expected. But if they get healthy, maybe something can happen. But as of right now, I expect the Twins to be worse than the White Sox. No, I'm joking. But I expect the Twins to be pretty bad. But I don't know what to expect from the Cardinals.
I feel like that NL Central division is open to kind of
Yeah.
anyone right now. Like the Cubs, the Brewers, the Reds maybe even.
Yeah.
And then obviously the Cardinals. Like any four of those teams, I think the only team that can't is the Pirates that we just talked about.
Yeah.
But there are really four teams that could go 88 wins and just take that division, and then they get a playoff spot, and then you never know what happens from there.
I'm really hoping that it's the Cubs who win that division just so that there's no mediocre playoff baseball again.
Yep.
Because the Cubs are the best team out of that bunch, in my opinion. But obviously, not always does the best team win the division because they can start bad and then finish good. And then, like the Mets last year, like they started pretty bad. They finished pretty well. They did not win their division.
Yeah.
But they were close. And then they went to the playoffs. They had a good showing, better showing than the Phillies, who won the division. So you never know.
Yep.
Next up, we had the World Series champion LA Dodgers taking on the AL Triple Crown Cy Young winner Tariq Skubal and the Detroit Tigers. The Dodgers would go on to sweep this series and would actually make Skubal look very intermediate compared to them. Just kind of what you expect from the Dodgers.
Yeah.
$1 billion deferred. You better sweep. You better sweep a few series this year.
And I mean, I think the Tigers put up a good fight in some of these games.
Absolutely.
They looked good, but the Dodgers, obviously, I mean, $1 billion is just an absolutely insane number that shouldn't even be allowed, but
No.
it's whatever. They're going to win a lot of games this year. They start off with 3 in a row. I don't got anything else to say.
No, just impressed, honestly, by their lineup. Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman were unavailable for a couple of games there. Betts was sick.
And then hit a walk-off homer.
He hit 2 homers in that game, actually, and the walk-off 3-run blast. He looks a lot smaller, which is weird to see because he was already pretty small.
Yeah.
But he looks a lot smaller, and the fact that he's still crushing is very impressive. I like Mookie a lot. I expect another great year from him if he can also stay healthy. But yeah, having 4 or 5 All-Stars in your lineup is definitely a recipe for success. Roki Sasaki made his debut, or not debut, first American game.
Yes.
And didn't look very well. He was seen crying in the dugout. He
Yep.
was quite upset about his outing that he had. I feel for him, definitely, but, he'll figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Blake Snell looked dominant, too. Don't sleep on the Snellzilla. Love that guy.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Next up, we've got the Oakland Athletics taking on the Seattle Mariners in a 4-game series that they would end up splitting. And for the Mariners, can't be really splitting these series against the A's. It's another Tampa Bay Rays situation where if you want to make the playoffs, you got to win against these easier teams.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're Major League Baseball teams, but the A's, I mean, they're nothing special. I think the Mariners should have at least taken 3. I think 3 out of 4 is a solid number to start the year. But they end up losing a few low-scoring games. Their bats really didn't wake up until like the 7th or 8th inning when they did end up winning.
Yeah, I think that you can look at this from 2 different ways. Excuse me. You can look at this from 2 different ways as a Mariners fan. You can look at it as, the A's got better and, they added Severino and their young players are coming in and they've got more experience now. So, it's okay to only take 2. Or you can look at it from the way that I'm going to look at it, and it's you need to take 3 out of the series, and the only game that is acceptable somewhat to drop is the Luis Severino start, which I believe they won anyways.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that would have been the only acceptable game to drop. Anything else is just not good. The Mariners lineup looked clutch, but not good.
Yeah,
which is a problem.
Agreed.
If you can only hit in the clutch as a baseball team, then you're going to run yourself right out of games. You're not going to be able to hit your way back into a 7-1 ball game.
Yeah, no.
Not all the time, sometimes maybe. But obviously the Mariners rotation looks pretty good. The lineup needs to step up. Randy, I think his only hit was a home run. He might have had like a single.
Yeah.
Separate from that.
And the bat slam in the first game of the year.
Yeah. I mean, I don't hate it.
I hate it.
I like to see people get hyped up, man. That's
I
what
like
the sport's
seeing
about.
people get hyped up. I love Tyler Heineman's home run trot.
Yeah.
But I mean, that, whatever. I don't like Randy Rosarena, so that's me.
Yeah. Next up, we had the last series of opening weekend. We had the Cubs heading to Arizona to take on the Diamondbacks, where they would do a 2-2 split. I didn't see too much from this series, except I know that Ketel Marte was looking elite. I believe he had either a hit in every game or a hit in 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he's honestly probably in my top 5 most underrated in baseball.
Yeah.
He doesn't get a lot of attention, which just makes sense because it's the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
Right? It's unfortunate, but yeah, the D-backs and the Cubs, they're 2 teams that I kind of put in the same tier coming into this year. They're both like wild card teams to me. Cubs division winner,
could win the division.
Wild card level.
Yeah,
talent,
for sure.
Right, but you only need to be good enough to win your division, I guess, in some sorts. So
yeah.
But yeah, this was a even series. Excited to see what both teams can do. Honestly, you don't know what the limit is there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that the Cubs should have taken 3 of these games as they went into, I believe, game 3 or 4 of the series. They were up 6-2 in the 8th inning, and then ended up allowing an 8 spot to the Diamondbacks, which I don't know the last time I've seen an 8 spot get put up that late in a game.
Yeah.
That was just so hard to watch. I was going for the Cubs, and I'm like, man, this is just, they're just getting hit after hit after hit, most of them with 2 outs, and then Lourdes ties the game with a homer, and I'm like, Lourdes, my man, stop doing me like that.
Yeah, no, that's what I was talking about earlier with the clutch hitting. It's only going to save you so much. So I think the D-backs just used about 2 months of good luck in clutch hitting to get that win right there. But yeah, Lourdes Gurriel, always a clutch hitter.
Oh, yeah.
Always doing it.
Gotta love him.
Did it for the Jays for years.
Yep.
Love that guy. That's going to bring us to the end of the first ever episode of Leadoff Conversations. Thank you guys for coming back and enjoying. I know we were gone for a while. NFL season finished up. We didn't really have any sort of idea of what we wanted to do, but obviously we both love baseball, so we thought, why not, right? Let's just get cooking. We appreciate you guys for tuning in, enjoying, watching. If you have any takes or any suggestions, please feel free to leave them in the comments down below. We always read them. We always enjoy reading them. And yeah, that's all from me.
That's all that I got. Thank you so much, guys, for sticking around for the episode. We'll see you next time.
Yep. Peace out,
See
guys.
ya.
Thank you.